Hey, I'm Tessa Virtue.
I'm Scott Moir.
So what are we doing?
I don't know, say something witty.
Hi, I'm Tessa Virtue.
And I'm Scott Moir.
And we're so excited to be a part of the start of the 5th season on Game On.
Woo! First season, coming at ya.
With Jeff and Mike. We'll talk to you soon.
Welcome back to Game On. You are in the sports cage, and Mike and I have some big guests tonight. It's the 5th season of Kickoff, so we thought we'd bring in some big league guests. Yeah. Tessa Virtue, Scott Moir, Olympic champions, and let's get it out of the way right away. Retirement or no retirement?
Well, I'm still loving that intro there. You're pumping my tires. Big guest. Start season 5. Yeah. Not retirement, just kind of taking a season off. Yeah. We just, honestly, we don't know. We try to be really honest with the media, and I could see how that's a little bit annoying, but between the two of us, we actually just don't know where we're going and if we're going to come back or not. So we decided to take 1 year at a time, and we know we're not competing this year, that's for sure.
And Tess, how does it feel to, after 17 years of doing what you did, how does it feel to have a little time off?
It's really strange. In a lot of ways, it's a huge relief because we're not training, we're not putting in those demanding hours at the rink, but at the same time, it's a little unsettling. I mean, we're used to competing at this time of year, so we'll be honest, I think we've both felt a little bit of that anxiety, and we talked through it a little bit of that. I guess that's because we're used to feeling that this time of year.
I mean, now that the season's going officially, do you watch what's going on and you wish you were on the ice?
Yeah, we definitely, well, I watch what's going on for sure, and do you watch what's going on?
Not so much.
No, it's funny because when we competed, I never watched, almost ever. I didn't watch our competitors, almost ever. And now that we're not in it, I kind of watch a little bit more, and I will be definitely watching or have watched Skate Canada National this past weekend, and yeah, it's just different, and it's kind of inspiring to create again, which is fun for us, even though we're going to be creating this year kind of on a professional level, but it is exciting.
Let's talk about why you guys were in town. On Thursday night, you hosted gold medal plates, and talk about that. You were the MCs of the event.
That's right.
And just talk about gold medal plates, the program, and why you guys are taking part in it.
Well, it was our first time ever attending a gold medal plates event, so it was sort of a daunting task to MC it immediately, but it was also so special. I mean, we've reaped the benefits directly from On the Podium, which is funded through gold medal plates, and already they've raised $8.2 million, which is absolutely incredible, and they just get it. They understand what it takes to train and to be the best, and we really appreciate that, so it was fun to sort of step onto that side of things and celebrate with everyone, and what an amazing way. I mean, we got to test out the top 10 restaurants of Victoria, so it was incredible.
Yeah, exactly.
The greatest skaters in Canadian history. I mean, you two. I think you're our special guest.
I don't think they were there on Thursday.
I mean, arguably, and many critics have called you guys that. What do you think when you hear those words? I mean, that's pretty high praise.
It is, yeah. I mean, I'm not sure that that's really true, but it's certainly flattering, and I don't think we're far enough from it to really look back and reflect on what we've accomplished, but skating has such a rich history. We come from a world, we grew up admiring Tracy Wilson, Rob McCall, Marie-France Dubray, Patrice Lauzon, Shaylin Bourne, Victor Kratz, just to talk about ice dancers, let alone every other discipline in figure skating. So,
Forster, Browning.
Exactly. I know, we're such a competitive nation when it comes to skating. I mean, it seems to be our nation's sport, well, with hockey, of course.
Yeah. But still, I mean, Scott, speak to that, the greatest skaters in history, because, that's, we don't get that a lot. We don't get the greatest sportscasters even in Victoria.
No. So, I think you're that.
Yeah.
Sure. I think you might be. This is one of our favorites we've ever done, but imagine where Tess would be if I didn't hold her down. Really hold her back, but you know what, it is great to hear that, but we're only where we are, just like Tessa said, because of the people that have come before us, especially with the rich and storied history of Canadian ice dance. We're really lucky, and hopefully that means that there's kids coming up the ranks that are just going to blow us out of the water.
Hard to believe it's been almost 5 years since the Vancouver 2010 Games.
Jeez.
I mean, what a defining moment, not only in your career, but in Canadian skating and in that event for Canada. What were the emotions competing here on the West Coast and in front of millions of people watching around the world?
Well, that's a memory that we'll never forget, to be honest. When we look back at pictures and stuff, it takes you right back there, even though we felt like we were kids at 20 and 22. At the same time, it's a really special moment. I don't think we'll ever forget walking through the streets of Vancouver, seeing the whole country kind of come together for the Olympic Games and really put on a classic Canadian representation, which was just amazing for us as athletes to be a part of, and to win and sing the anthem in our own country. How lucky can you get?
And talk about Sochi, and you know, if you win the silver, but your training partners win the gold. Talk about that experience.
Do you know what? Sochi was a dream from beginning to end, and I think people are surprised to hear that. Heading in, we were healthy, 4 years older and more mature. We knew what to expect from an Olympic Games. We were closer with our fellow Canadian athletes. There was just something very unique about the Sochi Olympic Games. And then when we had our best performances, there really wasn't much more we could have asked for. We got off the ice feeling almost better than we did in Vancouver. It was just magical. And of course we were disappointed with the silver, but we weren't disappointed with our skates. We were entirely satisfied, and so our reactions of, you know, happiness and joy, those were genuine.
And I mean, you guys have been at this, you know, I mean, since you were youngsters, and you know, you guys met when you were like 8 and 10 or something like that. And there is a story about that you guys dated back when you were like 9 and 7 or something, and didn't one call up the other and break up? What's the story there? I did my homework.
No matter how many times I try and bury that skeleton in the closet,
you got to share with our viewers. Who broke up with whom?
Well, I think most viewers will be surprised to hear that it was me that broke up with Tessa.
You made the phone call, right?
I received a phone call. It was actually a bunch of his friends, and they said, is Scott there? wait, is Tessa
And then I grabbed the phone, and I realized there's Tessa, like, oh, I'm going anymore.
I don't want to go with you anymore.
I think I thought it was a prank for a little while.
Are you over it?
I'm over it, yes, thankfully.
And then like 2 days later, we're just at the rink skating around, still not talking to each other. Like, we didn't talk when we dated, so it didn't really change too much. It wasn't inconvenient.
Good we got it out of the way.
I want to talk about the goose.
The goose?
Let's talk about the goose, because I don't know many skating terms. You know, sow cow, triple sow cow.
Yeah.
We didn't make that
But
one
the
up.
goose, you know, who came up with that?
Well, it's funny, we started doing this lift where I stood on Scott's back, and a lot of people, as we competed through the season, started referring to it as the eagle. Which is sort of appropriate, but we decided we wanted a more Canadian version of that, so we switched that up.
The Canadian goose.
You guys have spent so much of this year off now working with young kids and sort of that next wave. A couple of young skaters out of Victoria are Leonardo and Pilar Mayakawa, who actually compete for Mexico, but you guys have had a chance to get to know them a little bit.
Yes, they trained in Canton, Michigan with us for a little while, and not only are they fabulous skaters and certainly in that next wave that you referenced, but they're just the nicest people. In fact, Pilar heard that we were in Victoria and immediately emailed me and said, you know, is there anything we can do? We'd love to see you.
Awesome.
And they're just so sweet. We'll be cheering them on every step of the way.
How tough is it walking around your hometowns as far as notoriety and that sort of thing?
It's not tough at all,
No?
actually. No, we can pretty much fly under the radar.
Can
And
you?
if people do approach us, they're so friendly and polite. And, you know, I think it's just the Canadian way. We're really grateful to have had that support all along the way.
Yeah. All right. Well, guys, we can't thank you enough for coming in today. And I don't know. What can we say? You're here for the launch of the 5th season of Game On.
All right.
Pretty big media week for you guys all
Well,
together.
thank you so much.
Yeah,
This
it
is
was
so
great.
fun. We love hanging out with both of you.
There they are, Tessa Virtue and Scott Moir. Thanks for coming in today. And that is it. 5th season is underway of Game On. Please join us each and every Sunday night at 6:30 and 10:30 for Game On. Good night.